So hi there, my name's Polly Brennan. I'm a mental fitness coach. I'm an occupational therapist and I have 25 years of experience working for the NHS and mental health services. I love helping individuals and teams to strengthen their mental fitness because we need to make the best of the rest of whatever life holds. Well, let's talk about mental health first, because right now it's on the tip of everybody's tongues. It's becoming more palatable for people to talk about mental health, and indeed it's an important topic to discuss, isn't it? And most people still see it as an issue that other people face, but spoiler alert, if you have a pulse, you have mental health. So this means that we all have the potential for vulnerability, and equally we've all got the potential to kick the ass out of life. So I want you to imagine for a minute a scale. I want you to think about mental health as a scale. So it's a line that goes from here to here. And think about it like this. At the bottom end, that's poor mental health. That's where things are difficult and we're unhappy and we might be struggling with how we function, and this is having a significant impact in our life. This is where we're experiencing mental illness. If you think about the top end of the scale, this is what I would call mental wealth. Because when you're here, it's about taking a brilliant story about yourself forward into the world. It's about having clear direction. It's about being recharged and refueled. It's about having a mindset that drives you forward. It's been that bounce back ability in the face of life's curveballs. And it's about changing gear and getting into the fast lane. It's about surrounding yourself with fabulous people who really get you and really support you along the way. Being able to create success and celebrate it along the way. And finally, it's about being an out-of-office thriver. And mental fitness is the workout that you do. It's about the strength you build and what you do to build your resilience, and it's how you bridge that gap between wherever it is that you're at on this scale right now and that mental wealth that we all want. So I've got a question for you all. Where are you on this scale right now? Is this where you want to be? If yes, what's working? What's helping you be here on the scale? But if the answer was no, what's really getting in the way for you here? And this is a really important subject. I've observed thousands of people who've had to wait until they experience a life challenge or a difficult event, and they've had to allow it to develop into a mental health problem, and then they seek help and they go through a painful process of going through the GP and then going through mental health services and waiting for the right help to come, by which time sometimes people are lots worse, and then going through a rehabilitation process in order to recover their life and work out how to survive again. I am a strong believer in prehabilitation. This is about catching people at a crossroads or a hump in the hill, or that time in life where maybe you're dodging a curveball. And what we do, what I believe in, is helping people avoid a career in mental health services and mental illness. And I'll tell you this, even the most successful, creative people can get stuck, they can hit a crossroads, they can face a roadblock, and they can reach a point where they're surviving, merely surviving, but not thriving. And my mission is to help people notice the resilience that they already have and their potential to have a positive impact on their mental health in simple everyday ways. Because we all have got strategies in our kit bag. We all got strategies in our lives that we already use and we've already got resilience that we already possess. But these words are a bit of an enigma to us, and we don't always really know what it means when we talk about resilience and mental health. But everybody has got mental health, and actually everybody's got mental fitness. And what we need to do is just add more kit. We need to help people work out what's already working. And sometimes it's the really simple things in life, and we just need to add more. So it's like having a glass that's half full and topping it up. It's not enough to wait till you're suffering to take action. Let's have those mental fitness conversations, not the mental illness conversations. Because you know what? Pain is inevitable, but suffering's optional. In this way, we get to develop a great story about our strength in the face of adversity. We get the opportunity to learn and know how we can have more, be more, and do more. That's a really good question. There's still a lot of stigma around mental health, and still a lot of lack of awareness about what mental health is and what mental illness is. I think that one of the challenges is that we all need to develop better awareness around mental health. I think this continues to need work. So we're all having much more of a let's talk about how we feel approach to well-being, which is brilliant, because often just acknowledging and validating are what we need. It's that clever trick of listening to someone and then reflecting back and showing someone that you've really heard them. Sometimes that's all we need. But you know what? And sometimes I think we feel we need the answers, when actually sometimes it really is just about listening. And I used to listen to a storyteller when I was bringing up small children, and he always said, if talking was more important than listening, we'd have 2 mouths and 1 ear. So it's also about us being able to really, really listen to other people around us and notice those wee signs. It's also knowing that there are times when you just need to vent and let off steam, but there's other times where you need action and where you need to get specific support. So if nothing else, know how to signpost people so that they can get the help they need. You don't need to know how to support someone around their mental health as such. You just need to know when to listen and know when to advise people to get help. Another challenge is that people still see it as a weakness to say I'm not okay. And we don't want to burden the people we love. So sometimes we just keep things to ourselves. But it's that realisation that being vulnerable is a really important part of being resilient. Our vulnerability and our resilience are completely connected, because it's what we do with our vulnerability that really signals whether we can be resilient or not. It's about taking that difficult situation and getting support. Sometimes it's just about seeing your way through it. Maybe sometimes it's not always about taking action. Sometimes it's just about letting it come and letting it go. Other times it's about taking action. And it's that realisation that in those moments of pain, there's also moments of learning. Another issue that I can see is that we need to help people catch issues and challenges quicker. We need to help people to spot their own, what I'll call early warning signs. They're those signs that we all have to start noticing better when things aren't okay. We need to be able to dig deep on the tough stuff, but we also need the tools to live life lighter. We want to have a helpful mindset. Essentially, we want to enjoy life's journey. Another challenge, I think, is self-diagnosis. I think when we have a problem, sometimes it might just be the challenge of being human. But sometimes we look up, we call on Dr. Google and we begin to diagnose illnesses. And sometimes this can be dangerous. And then there's isolation. There's a lot of lonely people in the world. There's lots of older people who don't have someone to call on them. There's the issue that technology can keep us isolated. But for other people, technology can connect them up. And then there's that old chicken and egg thing, which is that when we're isolated, we're more likely to be unwell. And also that when we're unwell, we're more likely to be isolated. So how can we connect with people in the face of challenges that are there? Okay, so dealing with life's curveballs and rocks and incoming challenges. Dealing with like a personal crisis can tip an otherwise resilient person into a really difficult place. And that can cause injury and trauma. Sometimes we have to take action. Sometimes we have to accept the circumstances that we're in and focus on controlling the controllables. And at other times we just have to batten down the hatches and wait for the storm to pass. I think one of the other challenges for us all is dealing with difficult emotions. Emotions are difficult to deal with, and sometimes we don't know why we feel the way we do. And I think there are times when people can benefit from learning a few skills and tools around management of emotions. The other thing is fear of failure. Like, we all have this belief that we should succeed and excel, but you know what? There is such a thing as failing forward, which is where you don't succeed right away, but you learn along the way and it moves you forward. And for a lot of people, a lot of times in our lives, sometimes we just like to stick to what we know. We play safe, and this can stop us from stretching out of our comfort zone. I think we live in a world where our expectations of our lives are high. I think that we all expect ourselves to be doing things all the time. We expect ourselves to be juggling and spinning lots of plates and excelling at everything, but actually we expect more and more from ourselves, and sometimes this just means that we become human doings and not human beings. Sometimes this means that we just miss out on the simplicities of simple, gorgeous, juicy moments of life, the magic moments where we just have a moment of mindfulness and take in what's going on around us. Perhaps that's something beautiful. And stopping to smell the flowers and eat the cake, and also just being able to become grateful. I think sometimes gratitude is something that when we're suffering in some way, our ability to experience gratitude can be greater because we realise the benefits of those simple things. The simplest of things can make the biggest difference to our day. Well, mental fitness is a great place of strength, and with that we can become really great at telling a story, a great story to the world about who we are. And you know what? If your story's a rubbish one, change it. And if you can't change it, change the meaning. Also, it's about resetting the compass. Having mental fitness helps us regularly check in with where we're at and whether we're happy and with the direction we're taking. Mentally fit people are really good at topping up, recharging, reconnecting and getting balance in their life again. Also, it's about clearing the clutter of your mind to let you get rid and dump things that aren't serving you well and make space for new ideas and new thoughts. Mental fitness is also about turning an adversity into an opportunity. Sometimes it's changing, sometimes it's strengthening, accepting. Sometimes it's strengthening yourself through that. Mentally fit people are really good at taking action. They're not people that drive with the brakes on. They get in the fast lane and they make things happen. Mental fitness is always so about having a strong team. Sometimes our fitness and our strength comes from having people around us to cheerlead us and champion us, guide us, advise us, call us on our bullshit. It's also about creating and celebrating success. And finally, being remarkable, tapping into your adventurous streak in order to be an out of office thrive. If I'm going to give you my top 3, I'll give you these. Here we have a compass. Compasses help us to navigate our journey, and this can be a particular journey that you're on. It can be literally about a journey, but it's also about the journey of life. And in my experience, even the most creative, successful and competent people can feel lost or get stuck or hit a crossroads. And this could be you, and it could be someone you know. But what's important is at different points in life we can reset the compass and we can check in with where we're at on our wee journey through life. And I think September's a really great month to check in. Enough of the years past for us to be well along the way to know if we're getting what we need from 2019. But also there's enough of the year left to stop and check in with what we've got, what we need, and what still needs to happen so we can end the year punching the air and feeling able to celebrate a fantastic year. So my top tip is navigate your journey, take time to reset your compass, get clear about where you're at and where you need to be. The people who succeed have usually got a really clear direction, and this direction defines what they do every day. So check in with yourself and ask yourself a simple question. Where am I right now? Is this where I want to be? Am I happy? Am I on track? What's on my horizon? The second piece of advice, here's my cycle helmet. And when I'm out on my bike, this offers me protection from injury and from impact. The thing is that life doesn't get any easier, we just get stronger. And our job here is to work out when we need to bend like willow in the face of life's storms, and when we need our protective kit, and when we need to just weather the storm and get by. So protect yourself from injury, stay resilient. So a top tip really is about when life throws a big challenge your way, work out whether you can change it, and if you can, change it. If you can't, accept it and focus on something you can change. And finally, if you can't do either, batten down the hatches and wait for the storm to pass. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is do nothing at all but know that it'll pass and you'll survive and then you'll recover. My final top tip to you is this. Here's my passport. I love adventures. I love travelling. I love new places. Embrace your remarkable adventure. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. So this is all about inviting adventure into your life, whether it's the big life adventures, the micro adventures, or perhaps it's simply finding adventure in the ordinary. What adventure does is it helps you build resilience, it helps you be more creative, it helps you take more risks, and it helps you realise your capability. So my top tip is say yes to something on your bucket list. Be an out-of-office diver with your mental fitness backpack ready to go on your remarkable adventure.